All right, so I just took a phone call on Wi-Fi, and it was funny to me because my network phone wouldn't work, and you would think I'm the conspiracy guy who puts tape over my cameras and watches Ed Snowden and listens to QAnon and Alex Jones and thinks the government's watching me. But I'm not that, right? I studied political science, really interested in physics, philosophy, normal dude, typically vote Democrat. Depending on the week, I would say I'm an independent. And so it just came to mind. A lot of the thoughts I've had in the past, which we may mistakenly categorize as conservative, which have to do with limiting government power. Because wouldn't it be crazy if a democracy or any state you couldn't make phone calls on your cell phone? And so there's a really fascinating story that blends both values that we would typically associate with left leaning and right leaning political stances. Um, and if you want to go back, maybe don't go back too much further than, Rome or Greece, but you could. And it was interesting because the town, what we would think of as sort of the town square, or sort of a common public forum, you would have conversations about values. You would have moral lessons involving the gods and all kinds of grandiose stuff. And you would somehow believe that words that we know today, like fairness or justice, would make their way into the political space. You should believe that there is a shared interest somewhere where you wouldn't undermine power, even if power, coercion, and force, kind of doing what you want, was sort of you know, the flavor of the day. And so fast forward into the United States, and we've come so far from, insisting that the government can't quarter troops in our homes, insisting that we can own firearms, insisting that there's transparency and inclusion in elections and in these like public trials, all of these places where people were like, am I going to be the bad guy? And it becomes crazy because, without getting too continental, when you start including technology, you start including, not just cell phones, but also F-22s, you start including stealth technology, you realize that threats to liberty necessarily have a global impact. Now, it is of my opinion that when we see someone like Donald Trump, J.D. Vance, Pete Hegseth, and Tulsi Gabbard recklessly driving, you have to sort of question a little bit if our liberty is secure.